Bhagat Singh, enduring legacy for justice, liberty, and equality. Introduction. Shahid Bhagat Singh is widely recognized as perhaps the most famous and respected revolutionary of the freedom movement of India. Although he, along with his two comrades, Sukhdev and Rajguru, was hanged by the colonial regime at the extremely young age of 23, he had already won so much affection and respect that in vast parts of India, his fame rivaled that of Gandhi. This has been acknowledged by the official chronicle of Congress Party. His death and that of his two colleagues was mourned by millions across India, from Punjab, his home province, to Tamil Nadu. Many of them wept openly. Political and other differences were set aside as the vast nation was united by tears over the loss of its most beloved sons. Indeed, there were appeals against this death sentence even from the base of the imperial power from Britain. While details of this inspiring saga of Shahid Bhagat Singh have been published widely, nevertheless there remain significant gaps in acknowledging the many-sided achievements and contributions of this remarkable youth. One of the most accomplished among the young leaders of world history, while his predominant role has been that of freedom fighter, his encompassed many distinguished roles as a scholar, writer, journalist, disaster relief worker, civil liberties activist, and socialist ideologue, all of which he performed with great merit. Among many dedicated comrades, he emerged as almost a natural leader, a reality acknowledged spontaneously by people. On the lighter side, more by force of circumstances, the need to hide his main identity, he also worked for some time as a school teacher, actually a headmaster, and even a small-time dairy entrepreneur, where he is reputed to have distributed free a substantial share of milk to employee and friends, remonstrating with his annoyed mother that milk should be distributed among all. Even more significant are the gaps relating to acknowledging the contributions which Bhagat Singh and his colleagues also made to non-violent struggle during the period of their jail sentences, as also their assertion of the importance of non-violent struggles and sustained organizational work among peasants and workers. Their significant work for resisting violence and discrimination based on religious divide has not received due recognition, as also their commitment to rights of Dalits, castes who faced widespread discrimination as untouchables. Last but not the least, while Bhagat Singh's many-sided accomplishments at a very young age evoke admiration and awe, the family influences which made this possible have not been adequately explored. Bhagat Singh's remarkable consciousness and yearning for justice even at the age of 12 to 14 has been frequently cited. We must know what made this possible and contributed to this. This video seeks to fill some of these gaps. Chapter 1: Childhood and Family Influences. Bhagat Singh was born on September 28, 1907 at Banga village, now in Lalpur district of Pakistan. At age 9, he heard about the efforts of the Ghadar party in which 8,000 emergees returned from America, Canada and Southeast Asia to liberate India, particularly its 19-year-old leader, martyr Kartar Singh Sarabha, who became a great source of inspiration. In 1919, many innocent people were killed by security forces in the most cruel way at Jallianwala Bagh, Amritsar. At the age of 12 years, Bhagat Singh insisted on going to Amritsar to pay his homage to those who were killed and brought back a handful of blood-soaked soil from the site of massacre. With his sister Amar Kaur, he put flowers on this soil, as if paying homage to those who had died. At the age of 14, we find him observing closely the massacre at Nankana Sahib, the birthplace of Guru Nanak. In November the same year, we find him writing in a letter to his grandfather about the preparations of an impending railway strike. At the age of 14, we also see him getting involved in the non-cooperation movement and participating in activities like burning bonfire of foreign cloth. At the age of 15 to 16, we see him establishing contacts with revolutionaries and immersing himself in studying revolutionary literature. At the age of 16, we see him leaving home for some time with a message for his father that his life is now dedicated to the freedom of India. This is quite an extraordinary childhood, and to understand the making of Bhagat Singh, we need to understand the equally remarkable family in which Bhagat Singh was born and brought up. Bhagat Singh's grandfather, Arjun Singh, was a man of strong feelings for social reforms as well as the freedom of India. In his family, he often told stories of his own grandfather, Fateh Singh, who had helped Muslim tenants to get land rights and later, unlike other big landowners, refused an offer to get more land by entering into a deal with the British. This happened at the time of the Great Struggle of Independence in 1857. Refusing the offer, Fateh Singh said that the teaching of Guru Gobind is that as a principle, we should stand with the struggle for justice. Arjun Singh carried this tradition further and provided conducive conditions for his three sons to join freedom struggle and reform movements. He set high standards for good relationships with farm workers. He provided free Medicare to the needy and encouraged his wife Jai Kaur also to do so. At a time when education of girls was frowned upon, he gave the name Vidyavati to his eldest daughter-in-law, mother of Bhagat Singh. He encouraged his daughter-in-law to carry out various constructive activities to help villagers like educating girls and providing a helping hand to the needy. He, along with his wife and other family members, supported the upbringing of about 22 orphan children, most of whom later contributed to the freedom movement with dedication. At the time of the thread ceremony of his two grandsons, Jagat Singh and Bhagat Singh, he said, "I dedicate them to the freedom struggle of the nation." The eldest son of Arjun Singh was named Kishan Singh, father of Bhagat Singh. At a young age, he worked with great dedication for earthquake, flood and drought relief work. Bhagat Singh also later worked with great dedication in flood relief work in Kanpur. Then he joined the freedom struggle with equally strong resolve, helping Gadar Revolutionary Party effort. Going to jail several times and enduring much hardship, he was also active in the efforts for improving jail conditions. Again a role that was taken up further by his illustrious son Bhagat Singh. Kishan Singh's wife Vidyavati supported her husband bravely in his various activities. Apart from helping in bringing up many orphan children, at a later stage, her courage and firm resolve received nationwide admiration. When her son Bhagat Singh had been hanged and her two other sons, Kulbir Singh and Kultar, as well as daughter Amar Kaur, had been arrested, she challenged the colonial government saying, "You can kill me, but you cannot bend me." No less inspiring for Bhagat Singh was his uncle Ajit Singh. In cooperation with other leading freedom fighters like Sufi Amba Prasad, Lala Hardayal and Lala Lajpat Rai, he quickly took forward many initiatives like farmers' movement against unjust taxes and publications of inspiring literature. Both these aspects were later emphasized also by Bhagat Singh. He led a successful public agitation popularly known as Pagdi Sambhal Jatta, which forced the colonial rulers to withdraw unjust tax rules imposed on farmers. Ajit Singh impressed freedom movement's leader Lokmanya Tilak so much that he said, "When India becomes free, Ajit Singh should be the first president of India." However, due to his brilliance and rapid progress, the colonial government was expected to take strong action against Ajit Singh. So at the age of 26, he had to leave India, and for 37 years, he worked for freedom of India in various countries outside the India. Bhagat Singh cherished memories and anecdotes about his uncle. Ajit Singh's wife, Harnam Kaur, came from a family with Sufi influences. She helped villagers with educational and medical services and spinned a lot of khadi thread. This was an integral part of various constructive works taken up by freedom movement. Arjun Singh's third son and Bhagat Singh's younger uncle was named Swarn Singh. He started his social activities with working for orphans and for drought and earthquake relief. Then he participated very actively in the freedom movement, including publication of freedom literature. He was arrested and became seriously ill in jail. On his release, he couldn't recover and died at the young age of 23. His wife, Hukam Kaur, continued to help in the family's many struggles. As a child, Bhagat Singh sympathized with both his aunts. Harnam's husband had to leave the country he loved so deeply. Hukum had lost her husband at a very young age. Thoughtful child that he was, Bhagat Singh linked his family tragedies to the oppressive foreign rule. Growing up in such a family, Bhagat Singh was constantly exposed to stories of glaring injustices of foreign rule, the extreme distress of people and the valor of people who opposed this injustice. The family had a very rich collection of literature on these issues, and Bhagat Singh started reading all this at a very young age. From this family, which challenged prevailing social and religious norms and supported reforms, Bhagat Singh got a strong sense of rationality and reasoning based on reality and facts. This was a family which, despite suffering's many-sided oppression and economic loss, continued to care for workers, poorer families and orphans. Bhagat Singh imbibed strong concerns for siding with poor and deprived people. This family had tried to embrace what was best in many rich traditions as well as reform movements and freedom movement, and all this contributed to the very remarkable qualities seen in Bhagat Singh at a very young age. Chapter 2: Preparing for a wider and durable national role. Bhagat Singh completed the first 4 years of his education in his village, and after this he came to Lahore for further studies. Here he heard and read a lot about the valiant struggles of the Ghadar party. About 8,000 Indians living abroad had come to India with strong hopes and aspirations of securing the freedom of their country. They did not succeed, but their courage and particularly the leadership role of Kartar Singh Saraba had a lasting impact on many youths of Punjab and other parts of India, including Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh's school education was disrupted by his involvement in freedom movement, and later he had to study hard to rejoin the National College at Lahore. Here he came in contact with revolutionaries and read a lot of revolutionary literature. Then, to avoid family pressures for marriage, he left for Kanpur at the age of 16. Bhagat Singh's first stay in Kanpur was for only 6 months, but he came here again after some time. His time spent at Kanpur was of course devoted to his revolutionary activities, but it also had some other aspects. Here, he was involved in flood relief work with great dedication. He also worked for some time as a teacher, headmaster in a national school in Aligarh district. He established a close friendship with B.K. Dutt and learnt Bangla from him to directly read Qazi Nazrul Islam and Autobiography of Bengal Revolutionaries. Above all, in the inspiring company of Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi, he improved his skills as a journalist and political commentator and wrote many articles for Pratap, the famous newspaper edited by Vidyarthi. His writing continued to progress and it was published in several journals. Thus, even though several writings of Bhagat Singh have been lost, he has left behind many writings of durable and historical interests which continues to inspire many people, especially youth in India even today. Bhagat Singh accompanied his father Kishan Singh to the Belgaon Congress session where Kishan Singh introduced him to leaders like Nehru and Subhash. To impress that to play effective role in freedom struggle, one must be highly learned. Here he also had a long sitting with Bengal revolutionary Nirlamba Swami. Back in Punjab, Bhagat Singh proved his abilities as an organizer in the mobilization at his village Banga to help activists participating in the liberation of Gurudwaras from the control of pro-colonial occupiers. Defying the government's order for not helping any of these activists, marchers, Bhagat Singh mobilized rural communities to welcome and provide hospitality to activists marchers passing through their villages. The successes of Bhagat Singh's mobilization also raised possibilities of his arrest, and so Bhagat Singh went to Delhi. Here, apart from continuing his journalism work, Bhagat Singh also played a very courageous role in the efforts to check communal tensions. His roommate Dinanath Siddharth Lankar recalled that Bhagat Singh stepped into very high risk situations to reason with angry people and calm them down. A similar prioritization for resisting communalism and asserting the unity of people is evident in the activities of Naujawan Bharat Sabha. Bhagat Singh teamed up with close comrades like Bhagwati Charan Vohra, Sukhdev and Ramchandra to form Naujawan Bharat Sabha, an organization of youths which motivated them to participate in the wider mobilization of people for communal harmony, for attaining freedom on socialist basis and fighting injustice. Back in Punjab, he took keen interest in writing for Kirti, an Urdu and Punjabi paper established by Gadrites. He wrote on many topics of concern. His writings about Kakori heroes led to his arrest in 1927 by police. He was subjected to much harassment and intensive interrogation, but nothing could break him, and the authorities had to release him on a bail of rupees 60,000. The photograph on court was taken by police at this time. The year 1921 saw two world events in contrast. The Indian non-cooperation movement failing to achieve the desired result, but the Irish movement succeeding to get dominion status. In 1924, the memoirs named My Fight for Irish Freedom by Dan Breen was published. Bhagat Singh translated it in Hindi and got it published so that they could understand and learn from Irish success story at that time. During his Kanpur days, Bhagat Singh joined the organization of revolutionaries named Hindustan Republican Association (HRA). However, in the Kakori case, several leading members of HRA were arrested. 4 of them were sentenced to death. This led to a very difficult situation for remaining members, including Bhagat Singh and the more senior leader Chandrasekhar Azad. Bhagat Singh went through a period of intense introspection. As he wrote later, "Up to that period, I was only a romantic idealist revolutionary. Up till then, we were to follow. Now came the time to shoulder the whole responsibility. Due to the inevitable reaction, for some time, the very existence of the party seemed impossible. Enthusiastic comrades, Naye leaders, began to jeer at us. For some time, I was afraid that someday I also might not be convinced of the futility of our own program. That was a turning point in my revolutionary career. Study was the cry that reverberated in the corridors of my mind. Study to enable yourself to face the arguments in favor of your cult. I began to study. My previous faith and convictions underwent a remarkable modification. The romance amongst our predecessors were replaced by serious ideas. No more mysticism, no more blind faith. Realism became our cult. Use of force justiciable when resorted to as a matter of terrible necessity. Non-violence as policy indispensable for all mass movements. So much about methods. The most important thing was the clear conception of the ideal for which we were to fight." It was a result of this intense introspection and discussion based on this that when leading members of the HRA from different provinces met for an important review in Delhi, Firoz Shah Kotla, on 8-9 September 1928, they took a very important decision to add socialist to the name of their organization. Thus, the new name the organization obtained was Hindustan Socialist Republican Association (HSRA). Bhagat Singh played the most important role in this decision. This was to make clear the socialist concept of free India. Responsibilities of Bhagat Singh also increased as he and Vijay Kumar Sinha were made responsible for the coordination of the organization in various provinces. Bhagat Singh also changed his rustic, easily identifiable look by haircut at Firozpur on way back from Delhi meeting. Events moved at a brisk pace after this. There was a lot of anger in the country at the violence unleashed at the people and leaders who had gathered to protest against the Simon Commission at Lahore. This violence was widely believed to be the cause of Lala Lajpat Rai's death soon after. There was a lot of despondency in the country at the inability to do anything while a national level leader died from such an attack. The HSRA reckoned that strong action against the perpetrators of this attack will help to turn this inertia into a new confidence to move forward on the path of independence. In a much discussed action in December 1928, a police official Saunders was shot dead, while another police official had to be shot to make the escape possible. Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Durga then escaped in well-planned disguise to Calcutta, where leading revolutionary Bhagwati Charan Vohra received them with warmth and congratulated his wife Durga at the well-planned and daring escape. Here they observed the Congress session and then moved to B.K. Dutt's village near Budhwan for further planning. The decision to establish a revolutionary center at Agra was taken and a library with a good collection of revolutionary books was set up. The need for further action that could focus people's attention on the limitations and weaknesses of the colonial government's reforms and hence prepare people for a more forward-looking path towards independence was strongly felt by the HSRA. Hence a plan was drawn out that when the central legislature will debate highly unpopular bills to curtail civil liberties and curb trade union rights, one or two specially prepared bombs will be thrown in the legislature by HSRA members in such a way that they will cause minimal damage and certainly not any loss of life. This was precisely what Bhagat Singh and B.K. Dutt did on 8 April 1929, throwing bombs with such precision and care that apart from a big noise and the resulting mayhem, only a few bruises were caused. Bhagat Singh and Dutt then voluntarily handed their revolvers to security personnel, all the time throwing leaflets explaining their stand and also shouting revolutionary slogans. This was in a spirit of satyagrahi, but with a revolutionary zeal, that if you challenge the system, then stand with determination to face consequences and propagate your view and convince the world with your arguments. Courageous as these actions were, these did not necessarily succeed in the aim of the HSRA to win much more widespread support, at least not to the extent that the revolutionaries had hoped for. But these did influence the politics of the time. The slogan raised in assembly, "Down with British imperialism! Long live revolution! Down with British imperialism! Long live revolution!" started echoing everywhere. More arrests were made than was anticipated, and HSRA members were linked to a big conspiracy to overthrow the British imperial rule, and in the series of actions included the Saunders case. Chapter 3: 2-year battle fought from prison. How handcuffed prisoners defeated biggest imperial power. Despite all these limitations and adversities, after their imprisonment, Bhagat Singh and his comrades, by their courage and noble conduct, were able to inspire and mobilize millions of people for a greater participation in freedom movement. This period of the imprisonment of Bhagat Singh and his close comrades thus became one of the most glorious chapters in the freedom movement of India and indeed in all liberation struggles. During these 2 years, April 1929 to March 1931, Bhagat Singh and his close comrades can justly be credited with not only defying but even defeating the world's biggest imperial power from behind the bars. The more the colonial government tried to repress and torture them, the more reverences and affection they received in the entire country because of the courage and determination with which they faced the onslaught. This is why the colonial power with its vast reach and strength, was defeated by its handcuffed prisoners. Much more than their own defense, Bhagat Singh, along with B.K. Dutt and other comrades, concentrated on focusing attention on rights of all political prisoners and issues concerning this. In the courage of the various struggles of the freedom movement, a large number of political prisoners, mostly freedom fighters, were all the time being imprisoned, and the terrible conditions in jail posed a serious threat to their life and health, much beyond the punishment to which they were sentenced by the legal system. Bhagat Singh and his close comrades went on fasts ranging from 60 to 95 days to demand the essential rights of all political prisoners. Secondly, despite the fact that the colonial government was violating all norms of justice to rush up the case against Bhagat Singh and his close comrades, denying various essential rights to the accused, Bhagat Singh and his colleagues worked very hard to present their views and ideology in careful, well thought out ways. As a result, it became increasingly clear to people that these revolutionaries had actually taken all care to save human lives in the assembly bombing case. A terrorist generally tries to take more human lives, whereas these freedom fighters had taken the maximum precaution to ensure that there was no loss of human life. This was evident in the way the bombs were prepared and the way in which they were used. They had also given away their revolvers on their own to security men, although they could have used these weapons to make good their escape. It was becoming increasingly clear to the people from the conduct and statements made by the revolutionary prisoners that far from indulging in any indiscriminate violence, they had planned their activities very carefully, keeping in view only the interests of their country and the freedom movement, for which they were willing to make any sacrifice and bear any hardship. This became apparent from the courage and nobility with which they faced torture and beatings. They endured fasting for very long periods. Even as they saw their own health and the health of their dearest friends collapsing before their eyes, they did not surrender. Paralysis gradually spread from one part of the body of fasting freedom fighter Yatindra Nath Das to another part, and yet he did not break his fast. Prison authorities used to mix milk in the water so that when they drink water, the fast of the revolutionaries would automatically break. Instead of drinking this milk mixed water, the thirsty prisoners simply broke the pitchers containing this water. When the authorities tried to force feed them in a cruel way, the prisoners still resisted so much that they were injured. Ultimately, fearing loss of life due to force feeding, the jail officials had to discontinue these efforts. As news of such acts of courage and determination spread, the support for these revolutionaries grew rapidly in the country, just as these young freedom fighters had hoped. In a paper, Bhagat Singh as Satyagrahi, Niti Nair has summarized the impact on the nation. Soon after news of the hunger strike spread, 30 June 1929 was observed as Bhagat Singh Dutt Day in a majority of districts in the Punjab. In Lahore, 10,000 people attended a meeting organized by the City Congress Committee. The Tribune reported that thousands of Lahorians had expressed their solidarity with the hunger striking prisoners by fasting that day. Bhagat Singh and Dutt were hailed as the honor of Punjab and Bengal. Volunteers from the Congress and the youth leagues marched in processions with red banners carrying photographs of the hunger striking prisoners bearing the inscription, "All for country's honor, 16 young men are starving to death." When the success of these processions unnerved the administration and Section 144 was suddenly imposed, Congress, Ahrar and Akali leaders, including Sardar Mangal Singh and Zafar Ali Khan, courted arrest by shouting the newly banned slogan "Inqilab Zindabad" along with members of the newly banned Naujawan Bharat Sabha. The Satyagraha Committee won its first victory when the district magistrate was forced to modify his order and release the defiant demonstrators. The Naujawan Bharat Sabha celebrated its victory by announcing that 21 July will be celebrated as All India Bhagat Singh Dutt Day. The proposed program, including fasting, processions, the collections of funds for the Conspiracy Case Defense Committee, and meetings to explain the purpose of the hunger strike and protest the treatment of political prisoners. When fasting, freedom fighter Yatindra Nath Das died on September 13, 1929, after a continuous fast of 63 days. 50,000 funeral processionists marched through Lahore. The Central Legislative Assembly passed a motion of adjournment to censure the government for their policy regarding the hunger striking prisoners in the Lahore conspiracy case. In the Punjab, Dr. Muhammad Alam and Gopi Chand Bhargava resigned from the Punjab Legislative Assembly. Subhash Chandra Bose led the miles-long funeral procession in Calcutta. Rabindranath Tagore was inspired to compose a song. Later, when Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were sentenced to death, Bhagat Singh appeal committees were established in every district of Punjab. At a Bhagat Singh Day on 17th February 1931, colleges emptied out into streets. 15,000 people met in Lahore. Over 1,38,000 signatures seeking the commutation of the death sentence were sent by the All Punjab Bhagat Singh Appeal Committee to the Viceroy. In Amritsar, a public meeting organized by the Workers and Peasants Party demanded the immediate release of all political prisoners. The Tamil Nadu Congress Committee insisted that commuting the death sentence was an essential condition for peace. Indeed, the protest against the glaring unjust trial and death sentence even reached Britain, where an appeal titled "Stop the Lahore Executions" was signed by thousands of people. This appeal stated, "We, the undersigned electors in Great Britain, emphatically protest against your sanction being given to the sentences, including 3 death penalties, passed by the judge in the conspiracy case at Lahore, India. After a trial, the character of which arouses the gravest misgivings, we are aware that the 27 Indian youths accused in this case were not only tried without a jury but by the special personnel instructions of the Viceroy. Extraordinary regulations were adopted to conclude the trial without regard to the usual procedure. We regard the sentences passed under these circumstances as a violation of justice and demand that they should be disallowed by you. If the 3 death sentences are put into operation, we shall hold you and your government responsible for sanctioning what amounts to the murder of political opponents under the guise of official judicial sentences, without entering into the question whether there was any justification at all for the trial of the accused men at Lahore, whose conviction could only be obtained by such extraordinary means. We desire as strongly as possible to press our views upon you that there should be in all cases, without exception, an open, normal trial by a jury of the countrymen of the accused persons." Chapter 4: Invaluable Contributions of Great Relevance to Our Times. It is clear that Bhagat Singh and his colleagues, with hardly any resources and working in very adverse situations, were able to create a massive impact in terms of creating high levels of commitment and courage for the freedom movement. This they achieved by their personal examples of great courage and noble conduct, and also by careful planning of how to make the best possible use of their very adverse circumstances to somehow take their message in a very convincing way to the people. In all of this, Bhagat Singh as strategist played a very significant role. The impact of hunger strike and other courageous actions of Bhagat Singh and his colleagues could be specifically seen in the Congress moving rapidly towards the goal of full freedom, complete independence from colonial rule. He and his colleagues also made it amply clear to people that they did not believe in indiscriminate violence and greatly valued human life. All misunderstandings on this score were cleared by them in their statements. Bhagat Singh wrote very clearly, non-violence as a policy indispensable for all mass movements, while force is justifiable only when resorted to as a matter of terrible necessity. During the trial, Bhagat Singh and B.K. Dutt said in a joint statement, "We hold human life sacred beyond words." When asked to define revolution, they said, equally clear, that it did not mean the cult of bomb and pistol. The similar message was reiterated to Punjab Student Conference Lahore. Basic changes in the existing system rooted in injustice are needed. The system of capitalism and imperialism has to be confronted on a wider scale to remove the basic causes of exploitation and injustice. Only then conducive conditions will emerge for ending war and establishing real and stable peace based on justice. World level fraternity based on equality in the true sense was emphasized by Bhagat Singh. On another aspect of peace, Bhagat Singh gave very high priority to ending all sectarian conflicts based on narrow and aggressive interpretations of religious beliefs. He was very active on this front in Punjab, Delhi, and Kanpur, establishing close collaboration with others like Ganesh Shankar Vidyarthi, who were very devoted to this work. Naujawan Bharat Sabha, formed by Bhagat Singh and his colleagues, was very active on this front in adverse situations and helped to check the spread of communalism. Bhagat Singh also gave very high priority to the strong mobilization of Dalits for ending discrimination and exploitation within Indian society. He assigned great importance to social revolution based on the mobilization of Dalits, and this also was a part of the freedom struggle. He called upon the Dalits to get united and challenge the entire society against the injustices suffered by them for so long. At the same time, he warned them against the manipulations of bureaucracy of the capitalist system to misguide and use them for its own ends. Bhagat Singh called upon the youth to mobilize workers and peasants as they are real strength of the movement. Bhagat Singh equally emphasized workers and peasants, city slums and village huts. The establishment of a socialist system was emphasized by Bhagat Singh, as is evident from the fact that largely on his insistence, the name of their organization was changed from Hindustan Republican Association to Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. All this remains highly relevant for India today, and a lot of this is also relevant in the international context. It is amazing that Bhagat Singh, as the leading ideologue of his organization, was able to formulate such mature agenda at an age of 20 to 23 years. All the time, he was extremely tied up in various activities of his party or he was jailed. Yet he was able to study and write extensively. Finally, all these ideas could be used in such a way to inspire millions of people only because of immense sufferings that Bhagat Singh and his comrades were able to face with great courage and nobility of conduct. It is the combination of all these achievements which makes Bhagat Singh one of the greatest freedom fighters of India and also one of the most inspiring figures of all liberation struggles who continues to inspire millions of people even today. Chapter 5. Gandhiji should have led a nationwide movement to save Bhagat Singh. In the important debate on Gandhiji's efforts to save the life of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru, various points of view have been well articulated. It should also be pointed out here that the British authorities had sent clear instructions for a hard line against revolutionaries. In this context, attention may be drawn to a communication from Secretary of State to Viceroy dated 17 Jan 1930. Prime Minister asked me to send you following personal message from himself. Try and avoid action which will force you to deal with masses, but rather pick the responsible leaders and deal with them, whoever and whatever they are. Keep up moral authority of the government and rally round it those who respect law and order and whose political interests will defend India from revolutionary movements. Whilst pursuing evolutionary policy, maintain policy of reform whilst handling with firm determination revolutionary leaders. Some participants in the debate have said that Gandhiji made as much efforts as he could under the circumstances, while some have said that he failed to make adequate efforts. However, my view is that the issue of saving the life of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev was so important that Gandhiji should have launched a nationwide movement with this demand as the main focus. The most important thing to remember here is that this was possible within the Gandhian framework of non violence. If it is agreed that capital punishment is also a form of violence which needs to be checked, the movement against capital punishment has spoken against death sentence, even for the worst criminals. But in the case of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, and Sukhdev, it was the question of saving the most loved freedom fighters of India. So, very much within the framework of Gandhian non violence, a nationwide movement should have been launched demanding that the life of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru should be saved and capital punishment should be abolished in all cases if possible, but at least in the case of all freedom fighters. Such a movement would have united all sections of freedom movement and India would have achieved independence within 5 years or so. And there would have been no partition.
आओ नी पेड़ों रल मिल गाये कोड़ियाँ भगत सिंह सरदारनिया भगत सिंह सरदार वे वीरा भगत सिंह सरदारनिया वीर आजादी नू व्यावण चले आ रल मिल गाये कोड़ियाँ वीरा आजादी नू छेती ले आवी झंझ ते होए तैयार निया फांसी दी टोपी